Welcome back to another episode of In the End There's Always a Disney God. Before we get into today's episode, make sure you go to DisneyGod.com and check out everything and all my sites that are up. And make sure you subscribe to my blog site and my YouTube channel as well. So today we're going to be talking about Grey's Anatomy, season 17, episode 10. As you know, Meredith she's been battling with COVID for a minute now, a really long time. And, one of the most essential symptoms of COVID is consciousness. And Meredith has been drifting in and out of consciousness for a while now. Um, we found out that not just Lexy is returning back, but if you watch the episode, Mark Sloan returns back too, which I did hint that was probably going to happen. Um, so basically, we know that Meredith has been battling with COVID since what? I think at the end of episode 2, she's been battling this virus. And when she finally did awake in episode 6, remember she found a patient who was coding. She tried to save her, then she collapsed and went back to being unconscious again. COVID is a very strong virus, I would say that. But in episode 10, what happened is that it basically Lex and Meredith just explaining to her that it's her choice. Just hanging out with her, basically letting her know that it's your choice. It's your decision whether you want to return back or not. And they basically just chit chatted. Meredith tells them how much she misses them, and and Meredith brings up memories that happened with her kids, but there was also an issue with the ventilators. Grace Sloan was running a little low on ventilators. I think they only had one ventilator left, and this one patient, with Schmidt had to intubate her to use a ventilator, but because there were no ventilators left, he had to continue to bag her with air. So then Pierce found out a way um to not to buy some time to get reinforcements of ventilators. Ventilators breathe for you, so they had to find some sort of way. And if they didn't, like Richard Webber said, they would have had to shut down trauma. Um, but Grey's Anatomy so far, it's been good. Um, to be honest with you, I just don't hope. I just hope that she don't fall back into she just don't fall back into no coma again. Cause it's like every time she falls back, I'm finna search it up. Will Meredith fall? Will Meredith um? Let's see what happens when it says. It says I after battling. I'm gonna search up. Is it Meredith's choice to die? I mean, to be honest, I'm not really shocked that they didn't, because in the beginning of the season, I'm pretty sure fans were probably they knew someone was gonna get killed off, so I wasn't really surprised that they didn't take off Meredith. I would definitely say I'm not surprised at that. But what I would say is that Grey's Anatomy it's a good show. It's a long running show. And I want it to run for 20 seasons, 23, 24, as many seasons as they can run. Because it is a good show. But it's like at some point, though, I mean, there has to be some end. And honestly, with Meredith, the way I think Meredith should, go out, it would have been better. It would have been. I wouldn't say it would have been better, but it would have been interesting because fans would have never expected. Is what I was saying. Because don't get me wrong, I love Meredith. Meredith is like my favorite character of all time. She's the narrator of the show, so I definitely love me some Meredith. I just think in the interest of the show, it would be great if they do decide to do that. But obviously, Meredith is recovering. They took her off the ventilator now. She's no longer an event, and in the promo, she's waking up. So I guess we'll see how that turns out. Um, but thank you for listening in for this episode. I love you guys so much. Like I said before, you make sure you subscribe and follow this podcast. But make sure you also, and I mean also, and I mean that right now. If you have to do it right now, then you do it right now. You make sure you go check out Disney God, and that's Disney God, DISNEY, God, GOD.com, and check out all my other sites like music.disneygod.com and cw.disneygod.com and about.disneygod.com. And check out those sites. They're all in there. You just have to click it. And my Google Podcast link is on there as well. But yeah, thank you for listening in. I love you guys so much. You are the best. Make sure you subscribe and you follow this podcast on both Google Podcasts and Spotify. I love you guys so much. You guys are awesome. I realized that Google actually isn't slow. I guess it just takes a minute for it to upload, but Google isn't slow. So either service you follow, it's fine. But if you want to, I think it's best if you use Google Podcasts because it's easier. Spotify is too, but I think Google is better. But thank you for listening in, and bye bye. I love you guys.